All right, Gen V, final episode of season 1, Guardians of Godolkin.
Again, this is spoilers, so if you have not seen this season 1 finale, you have been warned now, because we're going to talk all about everything that has happened, starting with the beginning, Holden.
A very, I will say, a very short episode.
Yeah, 38 minutes, really kind of more like 33, 34 minutes before the credits, which there is like a post-credit scene, or mid-credit, or whatever you want to call it. But we start off with Shetty has been killed.
Yeah.
Kind of how the last episode ended and just the aftermath of that. The reactions of like, well, how do we reconcile this? Clearly she was not a good person, but also she did care about us. And what do we do now that she's gone? How do we react to the situation? And you kind of get the two camps of Kate and Sam on one side, which is let's just have genocide against all the humans. We are just the complete opposite of Shetty, just her foils. And then you have Marie, Jordan, and Andre and Emma, who are on the other side going, wait a second, what if we don't kill everybody? And let's think about this and what do we do now? Vought's evil, but also you guys are also crazy, and maybe both sides are looking not great in this, and we need to meet somewhere in the middle. Part of me is like disappointed they went to this is where it kind of ends up. I just feel like it becomes less interesting the more just polarized the factions get in these shows. Yeah, I feel like what I really like about season 1, particularly in The Boys, is that like you have this like this. It's not so much like superheroes versus humans. It's like, okay, making superheroes a commodity or like a product and selling them and all these things and the business side of it, but also maybe there is a altruistic end, like altruism, but also we're a business sort of deal. Kind of like how sports teams are like, oh yeah, we care about our players, but it is also a business and we want to win championships, but we also want to make money and that sort of thing. And I think season 1 of The Boys does that really well. And I think there's flashes of it, but the more of this like just black and white polarization that happens within the factions in The Boys universe, the less interesting it gets. With that said, it's still very highly entertaining, and I thought this episode was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, and building off of what we talked about last episode, I'm not really satisfied with where Sam's character is going.
Yeah, I felt like he had this nice thing with Emma, and then it was just like, I'm going to throw it all the way because I
went to a rally.
Went to this one rally, and they were mean to me.
Yeah, and I get he's not the most mentally stable individual, and he, has been treated poorly, but at the same time, I feel like he was able to see reason through like Emma and stuff, and I don't know. It just kind of felt out of character to what they're doing with him.
Yeah, it feels a little cartoonish where Kate and Sam end up. Yeah, but there are people like that in the real world. Yeah. So it is what it is. I hoped they would have gone a different direction, but they didn't. And I think so now it's judging it based on what it is. And I thought it was very entertaining. So after that scene, what comes up next if I pull up my kind of playthrough of this episode?
I mean, I think it's most of the episodes is the chaos on campus, right?
Yeah.
Like, or I guess Kate and Sam go and free the people in the woods.
Yeah, you find out. So Andre finds out that the polarity powers of like the magnetism or metal manipulation or whatever you want to call it, kills them slowly, essentially. So there's that scene too. His dad basically dying.
Which now that I mean, it's a very powerful power, but adds an extra layer of like, Andre, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, the more you use it, the more it's gonna kill you now.
And I'm sure the more like, I would guess the bigger things he like moves and stuff, the more strain he puts on him too. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic that's gonna probably play a role, you would think, in season 2. I wonder if that goes into consideration at all, even when he's like trying to save the people in the helicopter later on in the episode. But yeah, you have Sam and Kate go to free the woods, which was like, okay, they're freeing the woods. They don't want to get sick though, right? Kate would know that.
That's true.
This is dangerous. I don't want to get sick. So I don't know. I thought that was like nothing really happened with that part of that, and I was a little surprised since the disease
really
deal.
didn't play into this episode at all. Which I guess just Newman taking it away at the end of the last episode is supposed to be the end of it for now. But
But some good kills. I mean, Sam just busts that guy and takes out his brain, just smushes it kind of Kali Ma style.
Yeah.
And Kate tells that one guy to eat his hands.
Yep. That's funny.
Man, that Kate is kind of OP.
OP.
But you also have these.
Got to wear like a big turtleneck sweater around her or something, gloves.
Yeah.
She can't touch you.
Yeah. They're just in like hazmat suits.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sam starts having these visions of Luke, who's kind of representing his conscious, and he just ignores him for the most part. I don't know. I think Sam's character is very frustrating. Obviously, he's supposed to be frustrating, but it just seems like a cartoonish twist a little bit. And
and I feel like
look, he does have a lot of trauma, so.
And I feel like, I mean, I think it's fine having like Luke kind of talking to him, but they also didn't play into like the puppet stuff at all in this episode.
No, they didn't either.
Which is kind of weird. I feel like that's pretty key to his like mental illness, but yeah. No Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, you would think like as he's taking all these people out, he's just seeing them as puppets, dehumanizing people a little bit.
They referenced Josh Hartnett in this episode. I can't remember they're talking. Oh, it was in the theater scene when they're talking about stage presence or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you have the stage presence of Josh Hartnett, who was in his vision a few episodes ago. Oh, that was funny.
I thought that guy was dead.
I
thought
did
our
too.
director guy was like, he's going to just eat it right now. He didn't.
No.
That was the genius part of this episode, was bringing in all the Vought executives. And like, that was the stakes. The stakes was like, are they going to kill like Ashley and like the director guy and
all these people that are bad people, but like, so if they're dead, you know, they aren't good, but at the same time, like, you don't really want to see Kate and Sam win.
No.
So,
yeah, so it was kind of funny. It's like Marie and Jordan and Andre are like protecting some of the worst people in the boys, are just like the scummiest people. So yeah, that I thought that was kind of a great twist, and just like the stakes of it, because it's like, you know, these characters are established characters in the boys. They're not like major characters, but they're established. They could be replaced. So you're like, Ashley could die here. You know, the director guy could die here. It could happen. And yeah, so they break everybody out of the woods, and then they just start killing people. Like, are you a soup? Yeah. And then, are you a soup? No, I'm an adjunct professor. Just melts her face.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
They had the head explodey thing.
Yeah, like the sound, and then the tablet, and crank up the tablet thing. And
to keep him under control. And then Kate puts the thing in one guy's mouth, makes his head explode.
And then she makes him do it to himself, and he like can't fight back mentally.
Yeah, or just cranks it up all the way, and also the fact it's like right in his head. Yeah.
The fact that Kate's powers work on soups too is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is she the most powerful then? Because like, if she just went to Homelander and just...
I feel like she is just limited by the fact she has to be in proximity. Like, I feel like that's her biggest weakness, that anyone who knows her powers and is wary of her won't let her get close.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, otherwise she can control
at least with one arm. Which that was great too, because like they build up like, oh, we're such a good team, and then she like goes over, and you're like, oh no, she's gonna get Jordan, and now they're gonna have to fight each other. Nope. Yeah, I figured that was. I mean, it's kind of a trope thing to do, is have the kind of romantic pair fight each other or whatever in this kind of situation, and then be like, you know, find it within yourself.
Yeah,
but you know, like that's like the most predictable place it could go.
Well, and they kind of joke about that in this too when Marie is fighting
Translucent's kid.
Is that Translucent's kid?
They've said it in this.
Okay,
they're like, oh
that's
yeah,
right.
we
That's
should.
right.
Who's the new
I didn't
person for
put that
7? Yeah, it
together.
should be Translucent's kid. They're like, oh no, if he's just as perverted as his dad,
Okay, that's funny.
which he is,
Yeah, he is.
seemingly, yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked that, her trying to appeal to him kind of, and then just kind of giving up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I kept waiting for her to just sense his blood. I'm like, you don't need to see him. And
yeah, I honestly was expecting her to, I mean, she explodes Kate's arm. I was like, is she going to explode someone's head in this episode?
I thought she was going to as well. I was waiting for it. I also was waiting for her to just like get some blood and just splash it on Translucent's kid too.
Oh, yeah.
To just
That'd be
smart
pretty
raise
easy.
that,
Yeah.
or to sense blood. They eventually did the sensing blood thing, but yeah, just explodes Kate's arm.
Mm-hmm.
Very traumatic. And then there he comes. Dun 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 dun. He's here
Homelander, save the day.
to save the day. Except no, he's not. That was a good twist of him being like, "What are you doing? Fighting against your own kind."
Just takes her out, takes Marie out.
But yeah, so I thought like I was like, "Holy smokes!" When his eyes lit, I'm like, "They're just gonna kill off Marie." Right now?
I was surprised too. They kind of brush off how she survives it, like, oh,
You took that like a champ.
yeah, like, I mean, yeah, she did, but I don't quite understand how she took it. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did, to be fair, they established earlier in the episode, one of the laser eye people goes up to Jordan and starts lasering him. And then I can't remember who gets them off Jordan. But they established that, okay, the heat vision against another soup is not necessarily going to be lethal.
Sure.
But you'd think Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander would just annihilate Marie.
Yeah. But
But-
good to see Anthony Starr in this. You know, it's like, are they going to bring him in maybe?
He has like 30 seconds of screen time and steals it. He's so good.
He is just his presence. Because everybody's like, what is he going to do? Like,
Yeah.
everything stops when he arrives. She's like, what? And, you know, he's coming into a situation, too. And just to turn to Marie and be like,
Wags his finger.
fighting your own kind. That's a no-no. The Homelander.
What kind of animal are you? He says.
Yeah. Which is like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Marie's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Because she obviously doesn't know that he's a scumbag.
Yeah. Well, wait. Does
Well, I guess she does find out about the plane or whatever, but she
they
probably
find out
doesn't-
about? Well, and they also know about him.
he killed that guy.
Killed that guy.
But still.
So they're probably weary about him, but they don't know everything that like the boys do.
Yeah. It's like, what's going to happen? Then he just lasers her right in the chest.
Knocks her out. Somehow Andre, Emma, and Jordan all also get knocked out.
Yeah. And then it's the Guardians of Godolkin is Kate and Sam.
Yeah.
And these people were the terrorists, the
Which
massacre.
was a nice subversion based on going in, seeing the title. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to,
Yeah.
protect the student body or whatever. But no, it's because.
Classic Vought manipulating things.
Which
The media,
like,
Holden, classic media manipulating things.
I know they have like control over the soups to an extent. I am very curious to see how they spin or how they explain like a bunch of the students just saw Kate and like Sam killing people, right?
Yeah. But it would have been chaos though.
It is true.
I don't know. We'll see. Why did they keep them alive?
Yeah.
You know, where are they? My first instinct was that they were in Vought Tower. But then I was like, maybe they're in the woods,
There's
like a new woods.
Seemingly no door or entrance to their cell that they're in.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess, in season 2. And then, of course, our post-credit scene, we have Butcher coming in,
Butcher.
saying his favorite C word.
Yep. Investigating the woods.
He would definitely be interested in what Dean Shetty would have had to offer, I think.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was like, maybe he's going to get sick. Because he took, does it affect people with temp V?
That's true. Yeah.
And then also the temp fee stuff is slowly kills you. I forgot how The Boys season 3 really ended.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch it because a lot of it's fuzzy for me.
Yeah.
But I would say I probably enjoyed this show on a whole more than The Boys season 3, based on what I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember enough to really go that far, but it's very good.
It's certainly not like a dip in quality, I would say.
No. Supposedly the next season of The Boys takes place like a couple days after this.
Yeah.
So
exciting. I'm very excited. I love this kind of formula of, okay, now while you're waiting for the next season of The Boys, now we have some Gen V for you, which I think is kind of a good formula to have.
I've seen a couple cynical takes about it that I kind of partially, even though I'm overall with you on that, I kind of agree that it's like, it's kind of becoming the thing it's satirizing at some point, right?
The fact that it's like turning into the MCU.
Kinda, yeah.
Now that it has a spin-off show.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, not even that it has a spin-off show, but the spin-off show is like probably crucial viewing.
Pretty connected to the main
show. So I mean, I don't really care because I enjoy both these shows, but I can kind of see where that take comes from. So
sure. I don't know. At this point, I think, okay, maybe a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, we can see exactly.
But if they start having a bunch of shows that are just not quality and you got to watch them all and bad, then yeah, we'll revisit that. But I don't see that happening.
Sure,
I don't see The Boys lasting that much longer.
Yeah,
than a couple seasons. But I don't know. Probably makes Amazon a lot of money.
It does, I'm sure.
But this show looks very good. What was the budget of this show?
Probably less than She-Hulk.
Gen V budget. 11 point. Season 1 of The Boys cost 11.2 per episode. That's all I can see here.
So they don't have it.
I don't know
those numbers yet,
but looks good.
Yeah, looked good. If I were to give a rating for this whole season, I'm probably at like an 8 out of 10. I think.
Nice. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, I thought it was very quality. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I think it met all my expectations and exceeded them probably for what this could have been. I was thoroughly entertained and interested in the mysteries, surprised by a lot of the twists, and I was invested in the characters, and I'm excited for a second season. So I kind of checks all the boxes for me.
I agree.
All right, sweet. That is our spoiler discussion of The Boys, or not The Boys, but Gen V.
Gen V.
Season 1 finale.
Boys season 3.5.
Yes, The Boys season, the book of the boys.
The book of the boys.
The book of the boys.